Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you get to watch this. My name is Joe Shepherd, BJS, the founder and chief bloke of the ThreeBOD Rugby Group. I've decided I'm going to go on top of the range of 6 global monthly shows we have going on for the team. I am going to go sort of live twice a week and cover some topics for 10 or 15 minutes and through YouTube, but also onto Facebook as well. So if you're on the YouTube channel, please subscribe to us. There we go. At that channel, if you go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, I will be eternally grateful. So these will be some shorts, which will be interesting because the rest of my team will be watching this, and I'll be running a buck that if I go over 15 minutes, I'll have to put another crate into the Christmas fund. So why did I want to talk today? Well, today we are brought to you, as ever, all of these shorts twice a week will be brought to you by Chef's Blend. Go to coffeedog.ie and please support local business. Episode 1 today of our live at 5 is on social media, trolls, online disgusting behavior. You know, you can call it what you want. In recent times, in the last 12 months, it's got absolutely massively worse. Why? Is it down to COVID and the fact that we've been restricted on where we can go? Has it been down to the fact that we've got no outlet? You know, we can't go to the pub with our pals, we can't go to sports, really, we can't do this, we can't do that, so we're all feeling frustrated? Or is it just a sign of the times that we've got keyboard warriors hiding behind the keyboard and writing vitriolic abuse and just, excuse my language, it was just utter shite, death threats to people, you know, whether it's commentators or sports stars, and you know, just utter things that you just wouldn't dream of saying if you were stood in a room with that individual. And over the weekend, we saw it again where this man here, Paul Liam Williams, got an absolute battering from people online. And thank you to Wales to Win, which I got from our good friend Rian Noel Phillips on Rugby Chat and Banter. I think it's absolutely disgraceful. Some of the things that went up, I apologise that these don't fill the screen, but I just downloaded them because I decided today I wanted to stand up and say something because I am tired of seeing this. These are the things on Twitter. I wouldn't have redacted these. I would have named and changed these bloody arseholes. I tell you, it really, really, really frustrates me massively. Now, the Welsh Rugby Union asked for a hold on online abuse. But where is it coming from? My good friend Chris Brownfield at the Ulster, the South Wales Ulster Rugby Supporters Club shared this with me. Trolls to a stroll, and I think that really about sort of sums it up for me. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens at the end of a rugby game. That was Wales and France. That's the Sheriff, Ken Owens. Respect between people. This was me a couple of years ago. I lost the bet watching Wales versus Ireland, so I had to change my prop stop with a hooker stop, considerably smaller than me. Snug, I think I lost. There we go. Respect, be kind. What's it all about? How are we going to stop it? If you've got any thoughts, then please put some comments up today, and I'll be Gregor Galway. Oh, Gregor, always a pleasure to hear from you. They are disgusting. That it is absolutely disgusting what comes up. But what's causing it? You know, how do we deal with it? Is it the responsibility of the platforms? Is it the responsibility of the individuals who know them, their family and their friends, to do something about it? Is it the responsibility to report those people who you know is a fan or a supporter of a team, a province, a region, a club, or whatever, you know, a national side, report them to those authorities and have the buggers banned because they're just bringing disrespect in to the whole world? It is absolutely getting worse. Liam Williams is just one of those over the weekend. In recent months and last year, so we've just seen more and more and more. So how do we stop it? What are your thoughts? All I'm doing today is I just want a few minutes just to get people just to keep the discussion going. Now, in the last 12 months, we've all fallen out with somebody. We've all found it a little bit stressful. I mean, everybody knows, you know, there's a line, isn't there, between banter and abuse and trolling and stuff like that. Sometimes we're to blame because there are individuals out there who follow some of these Z-list idiots and they give them huge following and credence to some of the rubbish and crap that they write. Some of the others are just individual no-marks who just, I don't know how they manage to get themselves up, get themselves dressed and get through the bloody day, some of the rubbish that they write. no one player goes out there to lose on purpose or to have a bad game. Trust me, when those players are finished, they've given everything that they have. They've given everything on the field. They are warriors. They've left it there. Commentators, they've done the best they can. You might not like their tone or their questioning, or you may think that, well, left themselves open a little bit there. Well, criticize what they've said. Don't criticize the person. Don't make it. Don't take it out on the individual person themselves. There are people who caught that type of stuff. We all know that, but unfortunately, it's just disgusting the state that we have got ourselves to. My good friend Johnny Whopper. Johnny, how are you, buddy? Unfortunately, the keyboard warriors will only ever be silent if they threaten to do something to someone. But we're seeing it, Johnny, and nobody's taking any action. The platforms aren't taking any action. It's almost like clickbait sells. And we know the online forums and the certain individuals who do that. And there's only taken seriously when it's reported to the police. Good point, matey. Good point. Hope you and the family are well. Report them. Then something might get done in some way or other. Dermot O'Rourke. Great. The vitriol is rampant at present. Anonymous keyboard warriors hiding. It's unfortunately impossible to constantly monitor. As a moderator on the IRF, the Irish Rugby Fans Forum. Sorry, let me get that one out. The Irish Rugby Fans Forum. Stuck there. Sorry, I can't say that. Yeah, the Irish Rugby Fans Forum. It's a constant battle. Yeah, players are human beings. Trolls are just that, trolls. I remember seeing recently the wife of a very, very famous Munster player who got a whole pile of abuse, including death threats. Families getting affected of it now. It is unacceptable. So what do? I think that we need to come up with a whole range of different issues, and we're going to look at this more sort of regularly. And I'll come back to banter and people falling out as individuals, forums and stuff like that, because that's different. That's a massive, massive difference, because you can resolve that. Well, Chris Brownfield from the Ulster Rugby Supporters Club in South Wales, I think that, Chris, we need to try and do something with, because I think there needs to be a mechanism in place where we can turn that into that bit of respect there and beyond. So where do we go? What do we do? Today, we are up to 8.5 minutes. If I go over 10 minutes today, I'm going to be disappointed with myself. Tell us where we're going to go with this. These sort of antics that we saw over the weekend and the sort of stuff we've seen in recent times has just been dreadful. It's disgusting. I don't go on Twitter that much. We've got an account on Twitter, and we sort of backed both the ThreeBOD Group and the Welsh Rugby Roundup show have, like we have on Instagram and stuff like that. We are already planning we're already sort of partway through building the ThreeBOD Rugby Group. This is building its own socially engaged website, and we're going to have a private members club there. At some point this year, that will come. And there'll be loads of different content on there, and there'll be lots of exclusive type stuff and competitions and mutual support for everybody and stuff like that. And I get asked why we're doing that, because primarily, it is going to be a safe zone for like-minded people in the global rugby family to go and be encased and to support each other and have a bit of crack. Which brings me on to banter. Nigel's right. The Guy King himself from the Rugby Roundup show, banter with folks you know and banter with strangers are often not the same thing. And that is an issue. As I said before, banter is a thin line between it. Everybody knows my views on scrum halves and box kicking. You know, I call a certain very, very famous rugby player boxing like box kick. It's just the form of prop. I hate box kicking. It's one of those things. But we have a bit of crack about it. If I think a player is past his best, if I think that we should be looking out, and I say me, a lot of people would feel the same. I think, ordinary global sort of fans of rugby. If I think that a team or a national side at whatever level should be looking 2 or 3 years out and planning for the future and doing it that way, then that's the sort of, you can espouse that. You can criticize a player or a coach if they've had a bad game, but do it constructively. Everybody gets frustrated with things, but this is just far too much where we're going. And that's the message we wanted to get out today, that it's about being kind. It's about showing some respect to the players. And God forbid I ever see anybody online who takes umbrage, at a player, and especially at their family or anything like that. I'm not the best human being in the world. Jesus, far from it. I made a lot of mistakes. But, the one thing I'd never do is abuse an individual for what they're doing or their family, unless they're a troll. And then they're just fair game to me. And stand by, because chef's fins are up and we'll be coming looking for you, let me tell you. David says, if these trolls actually met the players they harass, there's no way in hell that they would say those words face to face. There is a world of difference between so-called fair weather fans and true supporters. It is a changing time, and that, unfortunately, is the case. The likes of Pro 14's banter page, I started to lose all respect for. Look, there's lots of different forums and groups out there, and let me tell you, I'll come back to that in a sec. It is very, very difficult being a moderator. So I wouldn't call out any group or forum. I think running my own page and having last year, I was a moderator or an admin on 20 odd groups. It is a full-time job just being on one group or two groups, and I have the utmost respect for virtually every single admin and moderator out there, because it is difficult. It is just constant and getting worse. Last year, I was a moderator in a very, very large group, and love the team, love the admin and mod team. I took, as a moderator, a guy from the Southern Hemisphere, no names, no pact rules. I took somebody to task on an issue. I then got a private message from that guy who I didn't know, had nothing to do with me. So in Messenger, you get the thing, do you want to accept or block or delete or whatever? I got this private message after he'd been sort of muted for 48 hours. Turns out he owned some Southern Hemisphere group, again, no names, no pact rules, and sent me this abusive message and kicked me out of his group. What sort of thing is that? We're not helping ourselves here, lads, are we, when we do that sort of thing? If you fall out with somebody, fall out with them and bugger off and move on. Everybody I've fallen out in the last couple of years, there's only 2 or 3 people, in groups or forums and things that I haven't sort of re-engaged with again. Life is too short. We've seen that in the last 12 months. So listen, let me tell you, think about what you're going to write. Think about what you're going to say. And Jesus, don't be doing it when you've had a pint or a glass of wine or something, or a short, because that doesn't help people at all. Carl Patson, why don't you the satisfaction? Why do we listen and give so much spotlight to faceless fills behind their keyboards we don't know, and they just want a bit of attention? The problem is, mate, is we can ignore them, but they just don't go away. And some of this stuff, if you start sending threats to people and you start turning it from a player into their family, that's even worse. It's just not on at all. Nige Quigley again says, why stop moderating in one forum and have backed off a bit in others? Same as me. I miss some of them. Some of them were great crack as well, but just another time, and it was making me, it was sucking me into a place I didn't want to be in, and I didn't necessarily react that well. Because if you back me into a corner, there's only going to be one thing can happen. I'll only take things for so long. So, but it can be a very horrible, vitriolic place that doesn't stop. Once you've done your job, and moderating and being an admin is a difficult job to do. So Nice says why he stopped moderating in one forum and has backed off a bit in others. I came to the conclusion if I would tell them to back off to the face, I probably should do that online too. Absolutely. Gregory Galway, he's the same for all admins. And Johnny Wappert finishes off. At times, the rugby family should sit back and watch the game from the perspective of a player, coach, referee. They will soon get an eye-opener. Absolutely. It's as easy to condemn. It's as easy to talk about. I thought the one I saw today, I think, was there was some, rather large chap who said word FAT, because I am a larger chap. I like to keep in shape, as people know. I just have this week's shape as a sack of spuds. There's a rather large chap who was lying on a couch scoffing something on one of the forums, and the tagline, it was like meme, and the tagline was just, I would have rounded them a bit better than that. And that's the sort of thing, have a bit of crack, have a private group. Facebook Messenger is great for that, but stop all the vitriolic online trolling and abuse. There'll be no doubt people sitting out there going like, shut up, chap. I don't care, lads. I don't care. I just want to get the message out to people that we need to be doing a bit more of this. We need to identify the trolls. And we need to stand up and make them count. So if you see anything online, report it. If it gets to the point where, the difficulty is when you report it to someone like Facebook, I've almost given up at times, but I still do it. Report it to an admin, report it on the group, report it to Facebook itself. If it's bad enough, and some of the stuff on Twitter, for example, is just shocking, then and if it's that bad and it is some sort of threat, then report it to the police. It is the only way things are ever going to change. This man here doesn't deserve to have anything leveled at him. Neither does any other individual out there who's just playing the sport he loves, giving every little bit on the ground for the team, for their club at whatever level. It is just getting worse, because at the end of the day, when these arseholes online are still being vitriolic, the players have gone off to have a pint together. And that, a little bit of respect, sharing your shirts at the end of a game that you've lost when you've lost the bet, it's all about that. Please, 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 please be kind to one another. Think about what we're writing and report. Let's get rid of the trolls, guys. We haven't got the space for them. Later this week, we'll have another live at 5 by me, Big Joe Shep. Look forward to seeing you all then. Take care.